Welcome to Partially Plastic. Nobody you are about to hear or have just heard is licensed to provide medical advice, nor has anyone examined you for your individual conditions. Please seek the advice of a medical professional of your choice for your treatment. The opinions expressed on this program are personal to the person expressing them and not necessarily the opinions of the host or any sponsor, and are merely anecdotal stories of our individual experiences and not meant to be statements of fact.
Hi, welcome to Partially Plastic. I'm Kelly, your host, and I'm here with Stefanie from LuxeHeal. Stefanie, tell us about your business.
Hello. Basically, I have a post-surgical supply business. It kind of started in a crazy way. So I carry scar care, fajas, basically all your post-operative necessities that you would need for your post-op care.
What is a faja?
A faja is a compression garment. So there are different types as far as stages, which control the different compression levels. I typically carry stage 2 and 3, just being that stage 1s are typically given by the doctor or facility and people really aren't in them long enough. So I try to give girls like the most bang for their buck on that.
How do you know what stage you're supposed to be in?
So that's kind of subjective. For me, particularly what I do when I have surgery is the moment that my stage 1 becomes loose in the waist and the back area, I'll go ahead and graduate to my stage 2 to ensure that I still am keeping proper compression on the back and the stomach. I know some people give like a time frame, but everybody's different. Everybody heals differently. Fluid, not everybody retains fluid like others. I don't really retain a lot of fluid, so typically my swelling goes down pretty quickly. It just depends on personal, whatever your deal is at that time.
Is part of that like what kind of surgery you had too?
Yeah. But it just depends. Tummy tuck patients tend to swell way more. I've noticed that typically like larger BMI girls will have a lot more swelling than not. Even I was once a little bit bigger, so I had that experience as well. And I noticed as I have less fat, I just don't swell a lot anymore.
Why is a faja important after surgery?
So honestly, it really can help prevent a lot of issues. Serotomas, so what am I saying? Seromas, a lot of fluid buildup, which is super, super, super painful. I had to have mine drained a couple times, not the best of situations. And not only that, just to kind of maintain even compression, especially when people are in like an improperly fitted garment, it can give you pockets of fluid in certain places, dents, lines on your stomach. So it's important to have a properly fitted faja.
How does somebody know if they're in the right faja?
So as far as me and I go, I like to size my girls. Everything that I have is like things that I wear firsthand. It's nothing that I wouldn't wear. I wear them all the time, still to this day. You'll know because it should be snug but not uncomfortable. You should be able to, it shouldn't be excruciating. Some people, and then you can also tell too by the little eyelets. If they're pulled to like the max, you can see when there's definite tension on the eyelets. It shouldn't be like that unless you have like a whole bunch of foams or boards in. You'll feel it. It'll be definitely uncomfortable.
I remember after my surgery, I had a faja on and I felt like I couldn't breathe. Would you say that that was the wrong one for my body type?
So it just depends because typically after surgery, we feel like that anyway, after anesthesia and after being intubated. So it's already kind of difficult to breathe. It just depends. Like if you just feel like that all the time, then it might have been too tight.
How do you recommend people care for their faja?
So I like to tell everybody to hand wash and air dry. I honestly wash mine in the washer like regular, just on a delicate setting. And I typically air dry. I don't throw them in the dryer at all.
I feel like throwing them in the dryer would kind of mess with the elastic in them and stuff.
It does bounce back. I've done it a couple times because I just have them all the time, so I don't really care if I mess them up. But it doesn't do anything. But the ones that do have the rods in them, it can damage those. So those are typically the higher compression or the stage 3.
What materials is a faja usually made from?
Usually power net. And some of them are like some of them have double layers, some of them have triple layers, just depending on the compression level. But most of mine are power net.
Would you suggest that somebody try a faja on before surgery to see if they're going to be sensitive to the material?
Definitely. If you have sensitive skin, for sure. I know a lot of girls do. A lot of girls don't have sensitive skin prior to surgery, but just being that after surgery, our skin can be gummy and extra sensitive. Um, we might develop rashes that we never had before, or just sensitivity in general. So yeah, for sure. But it still can happen regardless.
How many fajas do you recommend people to buy?
The girls like to buy a lot of fajas. I don't recommend that, actually. I'm a fan of saving money. So in my opinion, obviously the first garment that the facility is going to give you isn't going to be the greatest. It's not the best quality. It's not meant to be the best quality. Um, I recommend that you get a good stage 2. And as long as it fits your hips, as your swelling subsides, you can always alter your waist. Now, if you're somebody that needs a little bit of extra compression, I know like the tummy tuck girls and stuff like that, they need that. Um, then you can always grab another one. But I would say the max 2, maybe 3 pushing it.
So I saw that you offer free faja sizing assistance. Tell us about that.
I offer sizing, to be honest, because I know how everything fits, and the only way I'll accept a return is if I size you. Um, to be completely transparent, I'm not Amazon Prime. Like, I'm not huge like Amazon. I can't take it. And then a lot of these garments, sometimes people tend to want to return them after they're soiled, and I don't believe in that. Hygiene is like top priority to me. I would never resell something that has been worn or used. So I try to keep it like that. I want to send out quality things. So I size everybody personally. I did have help at one point. That was a disaster. So now it's back to just me doing it personally. I size everybody.
What's the sizing process like?
So we're not custom, but I can get you as close to possible. And I'll tell you, like, if your measurements just don't work. That's few and far between, but typically I request the smallest part of the waist, the largest part of your hips, and it's best to size by your hips. If the waist is a little off, we can finagle like an extender to extend your waist to give you the best fit. If your waist and your hips are very close in size, that's a little difficult. A lot of girls have like what I consider to be a smaller hip. I have more of a curvier shape. So to me, my hips are like 54 inches, but my waist is 29. So I always have to get a bigger faja and alter my waist. I'll never have a perfect fit. So a lot of girls are like that. But the ones that are difficult are the ones that have like 39, 40 waist and like 33, 34 waist. I'm sorry, hips, and then 34 waist. It's like it's too close in size.
How do you find a person to alter a faja?
There's tons of I know that the Faja doctor on Instagram does it. I know that a lot of dry cleaners will do it. I've had mine local to me do it. I would recommend that if they're not comfortable doing it, don't push it because they could ruin your garment. A great rule of thumb is to take about 1.5 to 2 inches off each side once it becomes loose in the waist. That way it's hard to mess up. Don't ever let them alter the waist. I mean, the hip of the garment, it messes up the entire integrity of the faja. But the Faja doctor has been super amazing. She's done a lot of girls of mine, and it comes out perfect every time.
That's awesome. So how I found out about you is on Facebook. Your brand is very, very popular, very well known, and also a very trusted brand. You run a Facebook group. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah. That's a headache. My group is, I feel, an amazing place for people to just keep it real. I feel like too often these groups are censored. They're censored, or they're run by facilities. They're run by coordinators. You can't say what you want to say in fear of like possible retaliation. That's actually how my group started. So I don't know. Some people are familiar, but I was botched in 2019 by a doctor at Avana Plastic Surgery, and they tried to silence me too in the group. The facility specific group, and that didn't sit well with me. So it wasn't just me; it was a group of us girls who were messed up by this doctor. And can I say his name?
Sure.
Okay, Dr. Scott Moradian at Avana Plastic Surgery. And my nipples were so bad. So I can laugh about it now because they're fixed. But my nipples were so bad. My tongue is a very short tongue. And I could look down and literally lick my nipples. That's how high they were on my chest. In a bra, they showed through. And then I also ended up bottoming out to add insult to injury. So I ended up bottoming out like 21 days post-op. So they became even higher.
What does bottoming out mean?
Bottoming out is basically when your implant falls beneath the breast fold. So like for a visual, I mean, I called them Snoopy titties. That's what it looked like to me, Snoopy, whatever, the ears. But he messed me up and I was on a rampage. I was out for blood. I wanted my stuff fixed. And then the more that I got into it, I was like, okay, they wanted to kick me out of their group. They wouldn't let me talk about it because I was scaring the girls. And it's crazy because a couple people after that ended up thanking me. And even a few ended up getting messed up too. And I was like, you know, I tried to tell you guys, but that's why we made the group. We wanted a safe place to, honestly, initially it was to bash said doctor. It was, but it became a place for everybody who had that same experience, maybe in different places or with different doctors, to share their stories. Because even on the blogs or the IG, you're never going to see a doctor post his messed up boobs or botched BBL. They're never going to post that. You have to go somewhere where people can talk about it. And that's how the group came. And, you know, we've been known in there to, it's like a big family. I love the girls that are in there. I know they're in tons of other groups too, but I really like the little surgery family that we built. I try my best to like educate people and help them on like where I've made mistakes, how I learned stuff. I've had several procedures myself as well. So there's really not too much I haven't done. And I love to help people. I love to give feedback. And vice versa. We're just like a big family in there. Sometimes it gets a little ratchet.
Especially when somebody says something bad to you. All the other girls do not like that. You have a cult-like following in there.
I don't like that. I don't agree with that at all. I'm very, see, that's the crazy part about me. I think they get it twisted because I love people to speak their mind, but I don't need anybody to co-sign for me. I'm a big girl. I get bullied all the time, actually, or attempted. I just don't do what I used to do anymore because I now have a business. But before, no, it was free reign. Didn't care.
That's how I got a sense of who you were, is the way that you responded when somebody said something negative. You told the girls, you're like, I don't need anybody to do that.
No.
Nobody needs to bully her.
No.
And I thought that was really awesome. Also, the girl was saying negative things, and the way that you handled it was just amazing. You didn't get into it with her and get nasty with her or anything like that. You just were matter of fact and you stood by your product.
Yes. Everybody's entitled to feel how they feel. Everybody's not going to love you. Everybody's not going to love your stuff. And I get that. You know, I don't love some things too. So it's just kind of like a agree to disagree type of thing. And I try to make the people, especially like as far as my business is concerned, I try to make the people that spend their hard-earned money with me happy. So if I can work with you, I will work with you. What I don't care for particularly is kind of going on social media or like kind of like blasting someone when you didn't even give me the opportunity to fix it. I can't fix a problem I didn't know existed. So I will try to rectify it. My business is like my baby. I love it. I love the people I encounter. I love the women that I help. So trust me, I'm not going to ever want that to be looked at in a bad light. So I don't mind helping wherever I can.
So people should contact you if they have an issue before, you know, making a
100%.
deal about it.
I mean, you can if that's what you want to do, but I can't promise you that I'm going to have the best. I don't know how willing I would be to help after you did that, but I mean, yeah, for sure. I you know, I make mistakes too. I get a lot of stuff day in and day out, so it's like hard to juggle. So I'm not perfect, and if I mess up in any way, I don't mind fixing it.
What's the shipping process like for your products?
I am really fast as far as shipping. I pride myself in that because when I order things, I already want it here. I want it to be in my mailbox the minute I order it. So I try my best to be super quick. I pretty much do everything myself, which is very hectic. I used to have help here and there, but nothing consistent enough to rely on. So It's just me. So I actually, it's almost a year now that I went full time in my business. I was still working and everything. And I decided that as I got busier, I was just gonna give it my all and see where we landed. So I did that. And I'm glad I did. I'm happy because I've been blessed enough to be able to like maintain. But it's crazy. So I do everything myself. Packaging, whatever, customer service, you name it, it's all me. I do have help as far as like the Facebook page. I have someone that runs that and assists with chatting, but anything above their scope, they just kind of push over to me and I handle it when I can. But yep, shipping is, and especially bottling, because a lot of people don't know this. Like Fajas is like the popular thing right now because that's what's being actively pushed, but that's actually not what started my business. My scar kit started my business because I was messed up. So a lot of people used to always wonder, like, where was my scar? My tummy tuck scar is like elite. Like I brag on it. It's elite. And that's how I started the scar kit. It was actually my group that pushed me to do that. So that's why I'm like kind of like forever grateful to those girls because they pushed me to do something that I never thought I would be doing. I never thought I would have a business or whatever, but everything happens for a reason. So I went through a lot of craziness with like, my surgeries or whatever and having to correct things and argue with people. But the light at the end of the tunnel is my business. So that's why I'm so appreciative of them.
Who can benefit from the scar kit? Is it people right after surgery or people years out from surgery?
To be honest with you, either or. I've seen better results, honestly, from people with older scars than brand new. I typically like to tell people, like, give your body a chance to heal itself first. But I've had girls that have like 2-3-year-old scars from tummy tucks or like mommy makeovers, especially people with keloid prone skin or things like that. I've had people that have used it on their armpits because they could be dark sometimes, or acne scarring. Like, I've had girls use it on crazy things and I'm here for it. I love it. Like, those are my favorite results. I really don't, Faja's like, yes, girls love it, but I live for the scar kit ones. Like the before and afters, like I'm so happy that I can help people. It worked for me. So it's like just so cool to see how it does for other people, other scar types, things like that.
That's great. What other products do you offer?
So really, this is the thing. I initially just had the scar kit and then everybody's like, you should get Fajas and we need this and we need that. And I'm like, okay. So, here I go on my little researching journey to figure out how I can offer all these things. And that's kind of how it started. So I have the scar kits, I have cavitation machines, I have, oh God, like boards, foams, lumbar, whatever, you name it, I have it. And if I don't have it, I can get it. So
how do the boards and the foams work with the Faja?
So typically the foams and the boards are used for people post liposuction or BBL, whichever. It provides a barrier between your skin and the garment. I've never actually had an irritation issue with my particular skin, but a lot of people do. And post liposuction, our skin is super gummy. It can be easily there's indentations all in your skin and whatever basically you put on your body is there. So the lipofoam provides, that cushion, and also the foam in front of it, which is how it's supposed to be worn, provides, the flat surface to keep your stomach flat.
What's your biggest piece of advice to somebody who's having surgery?
Do your research. 100% do your research. I think it's so common for women to want a flat stomach or a big butt, or it's so common too nowadays to where it's like everybody's doing it. They're researching off of Instagram, or they're seeing a girl that they want to look like and they're grabbing her picture and showing doctors. A lot of people don't understand too, most of these bodies we look at are photoshopped to death and they're multiple round bodies. So I think it's important to be realistic with your goal. I think it's important to get to where you're happy at with your personal body before you jump into anything. I wish I would have, and I say that to girls all the time because I wish I would have been at a more ideal weight before I started my journey. I may not have had so many surgeries if I had. Now I'm very happy with like how my body is, but it took me like, I don't know how many surgeries I had, but it's too many to count. So I don't know. But research is the biggest thing because I see girls they don't the page that they, the facility they work for, and they don't see anything. They're not utilizing the tools that they have. You can check the Florida Department of Health. If they're in Miami, you should be checking credentials. You should be see what's important to you. Is board certified important to you? Is deaths important to you? Is like, these girls just want the body, but they don't want to do the research.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share with people before we go?
I don't know. Thank you for having me, though. This was a great opportunity.
Thank you. Her business is LuxeHeal. Everybody check her out. She's amazing.
Thanks.